Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham. Bhagavan Shankaracharya points out the dangers of attachment to sense objects and to the gross body. With great compassion, he advises, Moham Jahimaham Mrityum Dehadara Sutashit Dishu Yam Jitva Munayo Yanti Tad Paramam Padam. He says, grow out of your attachment to the physical body and all the relationship that leads to your spiritual death. And the mature people, having conquered that, they will very easily attain the supreme abode of Vishnu. They will discover the Brahma Swarupam. So how to get out of that bodily attachment? He says, Tvang mam sarudirasnayu medo majjasti sankulam Purnam Mutra Purishabhyam Sthulam Nindyamidam Vapuhu. So if you look at or inside the body, it's nothing but skin, flesh, blood, tendon, fat, bone marrow, and bone. None of this is attractive to look. On top of that, the body is filled with urine and fecal matter. This body is to be condemned only. Now, what is this body and from where this body come? Panchikritebhyo bhutebhya stulebhyah purvakarmana samutpannamidam stulam bhogayatanamaatmanah avastha jagrastasya stulartha anubhavo yatah. This physical body comes from the gross 5 elements, and that evolved from the mutual combination process of the subtle elements. You've seen the details before. I'm just briefly mentioning what we have seen in the last class. So Bhagavan makes these bodies based on karma as a dwelling for the Atma. It's a residence for the Atma, so that the gross world can be contacted through the gross body. And this happens in the waking state. Bahyendriyehi sula padartha sevam srakchandana striyadi vichitra rupam karoti jivaha swayametat atmana tasmat prashatistir vapushosya jagare. So it is the waking state where the gross body is predominant with external sense organs that interact with gross objects. So we have seen all these discussions about the gross body and the gross objects. Continuing, verse 90. Sarvopi bahya samsarah Sarvopi bahya samsarah Purushasya yedashrayah Purushasya yedashrayah Viddhi dehamidam sthulam Viddhi dehamidam sthulam Grihavat grihamedinah Grihavat grihamedinah Sarvopi bahya samsarah Purushasya yedashrayah Viddhi dehamitam sthulam Grihavat grihamedinah. So Bhashyakara says here that this physical body is also responsible for the human samsara, for all the problems that we have. Because we experience samsara at all the 3 levels, Sthula, Sukshma and Karana level. At the physical level, the samsara experience is the sense that I am a mortal human being, I am old, I am related to this particular person, and all that. See, all the relationship that we have are from the standpoint of the gross body only. Even mother is a mother only from the standpoint of the physical body. Because no mother gives birth to Sukshma Sharira. Because my Sukshma Sharira, my subtle body was there. In the last Janma and so many Janmas it has been there. So no mother gives birth to the subtle body. What about the Karana Shariram? The mother does not even give birth to the Sukshma Shariram itself. Where's the question of Karana Sharira? So if we ask about the father and the mother of Atma, there's no father or mother for Atma. Therefore, all these relationships are only with reference to the body, and these relationships are somebody is born, somebody dies, somebody gets separated, somebody misbehaved. Therefore, all the family connections and consequent samsara, they are all the contributions of the physical body. So Bhagavan calls it Bahya Samsaraha. Then we have samsara at the Sukshma Sharira level also. We do experience that. It is contributed by Raga Dvesha, Kama Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madamatsarya, all those negative thoughts in our minds. They bother us, they trouble us at the mind level. Intellectually also, samsara is there. Many people are emotionally sound. They don't have too much of mental issues. They are just fine. They don't react to situations. Nice people. But they suffer intellectual samsara. They want to know. So many things they want to know. And they have trouble getting to understand that. At one level, all of us have a problem. What is this life? Why are we born? Where did the world come from? Is there a God? Those questions are always intriguing. And then there are other things, other things like why is there so much suffering in this world? There is evil. All these are only purely intellectual. So some people have those questions that bother them. They may not have any other, physical or emotional problem. The relationship may be fine. Family is doing fine. Children are good. They are retired with plenty of wealth, enough income in retirement. They have plenty of time on their hands. And they travel, they enjoy. All that is there. But then from time to time, they have these intellectual problems. That is there. So at different levels, we are troubled. Then the samsara at the Karana Sharira level. That is the basic one. Avidya. It is solid avidya, solidified avidya. Every shariram contributes to samsara. So here he says, what is the sthula sharira's contribution? He says, Sarvopi Bahya Samsaraha, the entire external world, all the transactions in the external world, Purushasya Yad Ashraya, that medium, that support through which Purusha, a person, has all these dealings with the external world, Idam Sthulam Deham, it is only through this gross body. Although we have lots of worries, but most of our worries are based on the physical body. Only after a long practice, someone is able to get over the physical body-based worries. And as I said, there are worries because of the Sukshma Shariram, Karna Sharira also. Therefore, Sthula Sharira, Ashraya, they are dependent on the physical body. In fact, we say that when a person has come to the Veda Purva Bhaga, the ritualistic portion of Veda, even that person who has come to that karma kanda, he would have gotten over the physical body identification. So a religious person, to a great extent, is able to get over this body identification. See, according to tradition, a person in karma kanda, you know why he gets over the physical body identification? Because he's doing the rituals. He's doing all that, Vedic rituals, karmas for next janma. So that I may have a better life next time. Or I want to go to Swargaloka. Something. So he knows that I am not this physical body. I am not going to go to Swarga with this physical body. And in the next Janma, I am not going to have this physical body. So to a great extent, that person who is doing those Vedic rituals, he already knows that I am not the body. And we all know this body eventually dies and it gets burnt or buried. I cannot be that. I'm not the physical body. So I am the Sukshma death. So it's not difficult to get over this identification, the physical body. Thus, Karma Kandi identifies with the Sukshma Shariram. Jiva Asmi. I am Jiva. That is the mindset of the ritualist, the religious person, Karma Kandi. Therefore, idam sthulam deham grihavad vidhi. You learn to look at this physical body, grihavat, just as a house. Look at this body as a rented house. Okay, not even, don't own it. You're just renting it. A medium with the help of which I am transacting with the external world of objects. I deal with other people, other things. Don't give any more importance than that. To the extent needed, you take care of it. Don't give over importance to it. So first, transcend this physical body. Learn to accept the death of the physical body. Learn to accept the death of the physical body of your near and dear ones. You can gain such acceptance only when you know that the physical body is just a residence, just a house. When you pull down a house, the residents are not destroyed. Either the house is too old, needs too many repairs, or you want to redesign. You tear it down, then you build a new one. Or there may be natural disasters, forest fire on the West Coast, just gobbles up, sometimes landslides, just washes away. And hurricane on the East Coast. All this happens. When that happens, you rebuild. Similarly, learn to look at this body, grihavat, like a house, for grihamedinah, for the one who lives in the house. Thus, there are two houses. One is outside with bricks and mortar, and another house, this body. Learn to look at both of them as for temporary use only. So this body is a house for the jiva, like griha for a grihastha. So thus we have seen what is the material cause of the body, what is the reason for the differences in the body. Is its dharma, nature of the body. That should be also pointed out. Sthulasya sambhavajara maranani dharmah. Sthulasya sambhavajara maranani dharmah. Stuladayo bahuvidashishu tatyavastah. Stuladayo bahuvidashishu tatyavastah. Varnashramadi niyama bahudamaya syuh. Varnashramadi niyama bahudamaya syuh. Puja Vamana Bahumana Mukha Visheshah. Puja Vamana Bahumana Mukha Visheshah. Stulasya Sambhava Jara Maranani Dharmah. Stauladayo Bahuvidasishu Tadyavastah. Varnashramadiniyama Bahudamaya Syuh. Pujavamana Bahumana Mukha Visheshah. So in this verse, Shankaracharya talks about the nature of the physical body. Earlier, he talked about the constituents of the physical body. Now he talks about the features of the physical body so that you know how to look at this body properly. Basic principles are knowledge is power. Knowledge changes your perspective. The change of perspective changes the response to them. And change of response, ultimately, that is the cause for your freedom. So you should understand all this very well. If I know that everything the creation appropriately, what it actually is, what is the world, what is a human being, what is my body, what is my mind, etc. A thorough understanding of all that will change our perspective. Therefore, we need to look at this body and understand what it is. Then our attitude to that will change. That itself will make many changes in our lives. The physical body, he says, Bahuvidaha Dharmaha, has many features, different aspects to it. Nature. Dharma means nature, property, characteristic, feature, quality. These are all various meanings. So Stulasya, the gross body, has many characteristics. What are they? The first set of dharmas consists of Sambhava, Jara, Maranani, birth, Sambhava. Body is born. Jara, old age, grows old. Maranani, and then it dies. So that indicates the Shad Vikar, all the 6 modifications. Therefore, think about these factors. This is the nature of my body. This will have to go through all that. And this will happen to the body of my near and dear ones also. So, get an understanding of that. Then, the next set of dharmas, Stauladaya means fat. So the body becomes fat, it becomes lean. Some bodies are tall, some bodies are short. These are all there. Then, Sishudadi Avastaha. It goes through various stages of growth. Sishu starts with a in infancy. And then Balyam, Kaumaram, Yavvanam, Vardakyam. Balyam, childhood. Kaumaram, little bit bigger. Boyhood, we can say. And then Yavvanam, youth. And then Vardakyam, old age. All these are par for the course for the body. Then we also have Varnashramadi Niyamaha, the fourfold Varna classification. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. We've talked about that. In the introduction to Vedanta, we talked about that. 4 ashramas also, you're all familiar with that. Brahmacharya, Grahasashrama, Vanaprasthashrama, Sannyasashrama, all that is there. And he says ashramadi, with that word adi. We can say other things also. You belong to this gotra, you belong to this sutra, all that is there. The physical body in our tradition goes through different types of samskaras. Various rituals are done. Right from the conception stage all the way at the time of death. The jata karma is done at birth. Shortly thereafter, namakarana is done. Annaprashanam. And then upanayanam. So all these are there. Niyamaha are there. Various ceremonies, samskaras, rituals. They're all based on what? Gross body only. Varna, ashrama, etc. The next thing is Bahuda Amayaha Syuh. Many diseases. Amaya, sickness is there, health problems are there. Physical body, inherent health problems are there right from birth. For some people, certain problems manifest early stage of life itself. For others, old age. None of us are immune to that. Yamaraja needs some reason to take you away. Some pretext. That's all. So you're given some reason in the form of Pitta, Kapha, Vata, etc. The Ayurveda uses those terms. In the allopathy, we have other things, cancer, heart disease, diabetes. Bahuda Amayaha Syuh. Many physical problems. Of course, mental problems are also caused by the body. Certain physical bodies are worshipped. A father, mother, we worship them, we respect them. Brahmana Sharira, supposed to be worshipped. We do Pada Puja on special occasions. That is all for the physical body. Do not get happy because sometimes you get this, all great honor. Avamana, disrespect, dishonor, that also will come. Bahumana, respect, honor, all these things come and go. When an elderly person comes, please stand up. That is, respect is given. So all this is there, all for the body. Puja, avamana, bahumana, mukha, by way of worship. Dishonor, honor, bodies go through all these vishesha. All these are for the body only. So through this shloka, what he is emphasizing are two things. First, you understand the physical body. You get to know its nature. Therefore, you begin to accept death, etc. So when those things happen, it won't shock you. Being forewarned is being forearmed. If I'm informed, that itself is a great strength for me. So this knowledge gives me strength. The second important point is from Vedantic point. The scriptures give the definition of Atma, and it very clearly says Atma is free from all the modifications. The conscious being is free from all modifications. Bhagavan Sri Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara praptihi dhirastatrana muyyati. The body goes through all this. Kaumaram yavvanam jara. Childhood, youth, old age. So once you know the Dhira Purusha, the Viveki, Namayati, he is not deluded. Avasthas belong to the body, not to the Atma. Therefore, after reading these verses, I have to learn to see the body as something that is different from the Atma. I am that Atma, I am the conscious being. I am aware of the conditions of the body. I, as the Atma, do not have this Sambhava, Jara, Maranani, Sishuvadi Avastaha, Puja, Avamana, Bahumana. I don't have any of this. I don't have birth, I don't have old age. As Atma, I don't have death. I am not going to be a child or a youth or an old man. I'm not going to get honor or dishonor. Nothing like that. I am Atma. So when this happens to this body, why do you get all worked up about it? So you have to start practicing that thought right now. I am the Atma that is different from all this. I am free from all this. Continuing. Buddhindriyani shravanam tvagakshi. Buddhindriyani shravanam tvagakshi. Granam cha jihva vishayavabodhanat. Granam cha jihva vishayavabodhanat. Vakpanipada gudamapyupastah. Vakpanipada gudamapyupastah. कर्मेन्द्रियाणि प्रवणेन कर्मसु कर्मेन्द्रियाणि प्रवणेन कर्मसु बुद्धीन्द्रियाणि श्रवणं त्वगक्षसि अक्षि घ्राणं च जिह्वा विषयावबोधनात् वाक्पाणिपादगुदमप्युपस्थः कर्मेन्द्रियाणि प्रवणेन कर्मसु. So with the 91st shloka, the Sthula Sharira topic, which started from verse 72, that is complete. 72 to 91, the discussion on the gross body. That is a subtopic under Anatma. So first the Sthula Sharira was taken up, and then comes the Sukshma Sharira. So Anatma Sthula Sharira is over. Now we take up the Anatma Sukshma Sharira. And this discussion will go from verse 92 to 107. In other texts like Tattva Bodha, all these was dispensed with one line, one verse. But here the discussion is elaborate. The various constituents of Sukshma Sharira, it is first enumerated. The Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body, is a huge set of instruments using which we deal with, we interact with the external world. Karanani, instruments. That's why Tattva Bodha called it Bhoga Sadhanam. Means of interaction, instrument of interaction. The gross body is described as Bhoga Ayatanam. It's a residence. In an office setting, you will call the office building office room, etc. The physical body is an office, the subtle body is an instrument for interaction. Just as in an office, we use various instruments. The phone will be there, computers are there, printer, internet, all these, so many gadgets are there. Bhagavan has given us 19 instruments which constitute the subtle body. And they are listed here. The first 5 are called Jnana Indriyani, Jnanendriyani, organs of knowledge, organs of perception, meant for receiving messages, receiving the stimuli from the external world. These are input devices for getting the stimulus from the external world. So these are the Jnanendriyas. Then there are 5 Karmendriyani, 5 organs of action. These are output devices. We respond to the world through these 5. There are also 5 pranas, pancha pranas, and 4 inner instruments. So all of them put together add up to 19. First, he takes up Jnanendriyani, which he calls Buddhi Indriyani. Buddhi, Jnana, knowledge. So here the word Buddhi means Jnana. Therefore, Buddhi Indriyani means Jnanendriyani. Jnanendriyani is more commonly used. But here he says Buddhi Indriyani. And what are they? Shravanam. Those are the ears, the organ of hearing. Tvak, the skin, the organ of touch. Akshi, the eye, organ, the vision, organ for vision. See. Granam, nose, the organ of smell. And jihva, the tongue, organ of taste. Okay. Here we have to note, I've mentioned this before, but reminding you once again, when we refer to the eyes, ears, etc., we are not referring to the physical eye, not the earlobes, not this physical eye. Here, all these physical eye, the fleshy eyes, the ear, etc., they belong to the Sthula Sharir. Now we are talking about Sukshma Sharir. The Sthula part are the Golakas, apertures. We're not talking about that eye or that ear. We are talking about the faculty, the Shakti, the power. They are called Indriyas. So we are talking about Jnanendriya. These Indriyas are subtle. They are not visible. Mind. Even though we say eyes, ear, etc., depending upon the context, you must know which one we are referring to, whether Sthula or Sukshma. But whenever we talk about Jnanendriyani, Karmendriyani, etc., we are talking about the subtle. Now, why are they called Jnanendriyani? It's because Vishaya Avabodhanat. Because they produce Vishaya Jnanam. They Jnana Janaka Indriyani iti Jnanendriyani. They produce the knowledge. So, with the eyes, you see an object, you see the form and the color, and then you say, yes, this is green in color. This is red in color. So you get that kind of knowledge. So the sense organ of the eye creates that knowledge for you. They help us to know the sense objects. Similarly, sound, touch, etc. So thus they help us in receiving the stimuli from the world. We have a two-way track, but each one is one way. Two-way track means each one of it is one way, one exclusively meant for input. This Jnanendriya is for input from the world. And then we respond, and that is the function of the karmendriyas. So the gateways into the entrance organs are called Jnanendriyani. And the exit gates are karmendriyani. So karmendriyani are output indriyas. And through that, we respond to the world. Suppose only organs of knowledge function. For example, a stroke victim who has lost the power of speech or the movement of hands and legs. That person can see, hear, smell, taste, feel, touch, but cannot respond. So we need karmendriyas also. And they are as important as jnanendriyas. So in the second line, he enumerates karmendriyas, organs of action. What are they? Vak, speech. Pani, hands. Pada, legs. Gudam, organ of excretion, which removes the waste from the body. Upastha, the organs of reproduction. Again, when we talk about hands, legs, etc., we should remember we do not refer to the physical hands and legs. Just as I cautioned you about, yes, there's a subtle part of it. When we talk about indriyas, it's always a subtle. So the power of speech, power of the hands to hold, grasp. That's what we're talking about on the indriya level. Power of locomotion, power of movement. That is what we mean by legs, not the physical legs. Okay? So the physical hands and legs, they all belong to the sthula sharira. But when we say hand, pani, or pada, in connection with sukshma sharira, we are talking about the power. So as I mentioned, for a stroke victim, if they are paralyzed in their hands, that gets affected. Even though the hands may be there, physically you see the hands, but they are not able to move it. Pani indriyam is lost. Therefore, these five are karmendriyani, with which we contribute to the external world. We respond to the stimuli that we receive. When I am talking to you, my vak karmendriya is working. And when you're listening to me, your jnanendriya is functioning. Okay? If I'm eating something, I'm using the tongue all right, it is functioning. But this tongue has a dual function. It's a jnanendriya and also a karmendriya. The others have only one function. So this tongue, when it tastes, it functions as a jnanendriya. And with the power of speech, for us to speak, we need the tongue. And that is why tongue control is doubly important. Both are important. Vak tapas, we studied the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So, tapas, 17th chapter, Vak tapas. Very important. So what do we call all these organs? Karmendriyani, he gives the reason. Karmasu, karmasu, pravananena. Because of the function of doing, of action. Performing action. Literally, pravanam means they are inclined to, but because they have a disposition of performing actions, they are action-producing organs. Therefore, they are called organs of action. So thus, we have seen so far 10 components of Sukshma Sharira, 5 Jnanendriyas and 5 Karmendriyas. So they are covered in this verse. The rest we will see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.